Good evening and welcome back. We got ourselves a game here against Ganja guy, over 9,000. Wow, what a rating. This guy's got a good rating. Ganja guy. From Germany. Oh, okay. He's playing a very sophisticated opening. This is a very sophisticated opening. I know I'm in for a tough fight when I come up against this. So I'm actually going to just bow out into this Catalanish structure. And yeah, actually, we have transitioned to the Catalan right now. Um, yeah. So Catalan structure involves knight here and some crazy complications down this segue. Uh, Not clear, to be honest, what's the best option. Honestly, they all look kind of juicy. I'm going to go with something a little bit weird. I'm going to go with this. Because the knight gets to capture with check, I'm making him expend a lot of tempi, let's say. Now what I don't have is a fianchettoed bishop, so this pawn structure is now a weakness which could be exploited, potentially. Additionally, he's got pressure down the line which can come up here with momentum. So it's not like we don't have problems to solve, we do. The question is, I think we gotta create the possibility to castle queenside too. I'm not saying I will, but I'm saying I need to keep it flexible that I could consider that. And now if we just take this, we can already kind of dilute off that tension, that double pawn and central pawn tension without much fuss. So now do we go ahead and just castle into the hole, or do we first play something like this, inviting this actually, although it doesn't have a follow-up, so it'll just be pushed back. I like it. I like it. I like tempting him to play a clever move that ain't so clever after all. This is what I would call a mini trap, a positional trap, if you will, a psychological tendency to exploit. Like many people would see that tactical opportunity and just play it because they know, oh, I'm so smart. But they wouldn't just see that there's no follow up necessarily after that. And yeah. I think we can't allow this pawn to come crashing through. I think it comes through with a lot of power against the king, and it's very scary. So we're trying to keep the structure solid for white. What we have in a way, let me think here. I guess we should just castle now. Yeah, let's just castle. Let's also not lose track of the time like we have a tendency to. I think if you're bad in time management, it might be a tendency in school studying as well. I would really love to know the answer. Is there a correlationship between poor chess clock management and, let's say, undisciplined academic performance? Because we all knew I was a pretty smart guy, right? It's a fact. But, discipline, that's a different matter. It's important. It's also a valid metric. This is looking very scary for white here. It's got a lot of pressure crashing down. I've got the extra pawn, but it's very, very fragile advantage here. The only thing we got going for us is we do have a threat of capturing this and then taking the knight. So that's pretty good for us. He doesn't have an easy way to solve it because he can't move the knight efficiently anywhere. Okay, oh man. A checkmate threat. Goodness me, what a brave, what a move. What a move. It's a fucking scary ass move, man. Yet he's got a mate on me. Even if I go in there, I mean, there's a he can sack the queen and mate me with the bishop. Fuck. So, change of plans. We're gonna have to go safety first. But is this safe, or am I just losing the fucking knight? I'm losing the knight. Okay, I don't know, but I think we have to allow him a draw if he wants it. But we definitely can't go in there. That's a fact. He's got an excellent position, and he's coming with a lot of firepower. We've got to get the queen back here to just defend the mating square. What an attack. I love this guy. 22 over 9,000 Ganja guy. Yeah, I believe you. I believe you. He's got his material back. And now the critical moment. Is he going to go for the tactical glory shot, sacrificing the rook for the knight, getting a check, hoping I interpose with the queen, but I won't. And then queen check here, and he forces me back. He has a draw for sure in the kitty if he does it. But, so do I have a choice even? No, I don't. I don't have any choice. So we're just playing forced moves. And what a great finish. Great finish. Ganja guy, I tip my hat to you. So I tip my hat to you. 90%. That was some solid chess there from Ganja guy and 2600 level. Uh, I'm sure I didn't play as bad as the computer says I did, but let's have a look anyway. Look, I got the opening right, even though I didn't really remember it. And even this move, I'm proud of my opening in this particular game because it's not like I'm that familiar with the Catalan. Interesting that taking here is somehow better, okay, to get a tempo and then later undermine it. But by capturing first, yeah, I should have just castled into it, perhaps. Queen here. This was the big blunder, I would say. I'm not even a big blunder as such. As you can see, it's not huge on the eval, but strategically, the reality here is that I'm a pawn up in the position. So but he has a small lead in development in a way. The queen over here is really, it's going for some super aggro stuff. And it's interesting. So he tried to defend against my super aggro stuff, but the computer line is to just crack down the middle, which we didn't want to allow. So that's why we played this move. It's interesting how the move orders are so critical here. Like bishop here being better than the alternative. I think the key point why e4 is bad, it comes to the queen's position again. Now the queen is really she's stuck here, and that becomes a big problem later on in the game. So, we're playing pretty okay. Do we make a huge blunder here? Yeah, we do. Shouldn't have allowed the trade. That was silly. Yeah, that didn't feel right. Don't allow. This is a key thing to learn. Don't allow a trade that kind of gives him an easy substitution with tempo. I somehow thought I was handling it tactically, but the queen check and the follow-up move, they really caught me off off guard, actually. So, oof, wow. So right here, the game's over. It's a brutal blunder. Right here, the game's over, and it's even suggesting I sacrifice a rook. That's how bad it is. And this is a freaking classy move, man. Really classy move. Threatening mate on f1. And even if I went here and he went check and I somehow even kill that piece, it just checks me again and it's still mate. So this is a really dire position, and it's interesting that going deeper into the corner is somehow safer. That's not that's a bit counterintuitive for sure. Well, the game's already over here, so there's no point. Anyway, we played all the right moves, and now we're trying to defend the lousy position. And well, how can anyone think that this is not as good as that? I mean, uh, so this is a nice way to keep the game alive, I guess, somehow, according to the computer. But now, since I went here, he has rook check and mate. Astounding. Astounding. Cheers.